YouTube. We are live and we're going live. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Here. Unable to start. 1 second, YouTube and Insta. I'm trying to get, I wanted Facebook on. Return home. No. Return home. Hey, y'all, we're going to be talking about all the woo-woo stuff. This is how I tapped into goddess frequencies, moon phase. What is the here? I've got the name of this video. I'm just going to let you come on. Go live. YouTube. Hey y'all. I know you see the here it is. The title is how I got here. I have a lot of women that I work with, a lot of empaths, a lot of intuitives, mediums, shamans, and earth keepers, grid keepers, all the things. And they're like, how did you get here? And we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to finally share my story. So those of you that are here for like just weight loss, this is probably not going to be your game. Probably not going to be in this conversation because it's going to be out there. This is out there, Casey. This is the people that are here just for fitness and weight loss are like, oh God, she's talking about that stuff. Yeah, I am. Because it's requested. All right. This is my thing. We're going here. Webcam, camera. Okay, got it. All right. We should be good now. Perfect. Let me make sure this is going live. What's up? How I tapped into the goddess new earth frequencies. And those of you that are joining, okay, perfect. Now we're live on Facebook. What's up, Brunel? I'm live on YouTube also. Maybe this will work. It's crazy because my YouTube peeps, they love the video that got the most hits on YouTube is how to know if you're a medium. So, and I don't know if any of you know that. So I'm a channel. That's honestly the thing that a lot of people see in me is the channel. Casey, the human, she struggles sometimes. She's got lots of self-doubt and gets stuck in her shit. And Casey, the human, she struggles sometimes. But Casey, the human, is the integrated part that helps so many women step into their bodies and become confident and get healthy. And if you are new here, that's what I do. I specialize in helping high performance, heart-centered women get healthy, clearing out the blocks. And it is a trauma-informed approach. That's why a lot of women like working with me, is because we handle things on a much deeper level than just fitness and diet coaches do. We actually we partner with physicians. Yes, that's how we do a lot of hormonal things. And if women come in, with Hashimoto's and they leave with low antibodies, and some of them don't even have Hashis anymore. I'm not promising that for you. I'm just saying, like, to give you an idea of what we do. My story was I spent thousands on physicians and doctors and Reiki and energy healing, coaches, personal growth, all these things. And nothing was working. I paid all the coaches and it was like I was just struggling, right? But I found out why I was struggling. And I shared that. And it's in Hot Moms. It's CaseyShip.com/register if you want to see that 14-minute training where I break down how I was able to increase my calories. Went from 1,400 calories a day to well over 2,000. I went from daily cardio to no cardio. Landed a cover of a magazine after taking away all that and having back-to-back C-sections, hysterectomies, all the things. But today we're just going to talk about all the spirit stuff, right? Today's all about the spirit stuff because I know a lot of you follow me because you appreciate that aspect. The tapped in, tuned in, turned on, empathic, intuitives, mediums, shamans, all the weird people. Where are my weird people? Where are you? Put it in the chat. Where's my what would you call us? Yeah, the intuitives. Where are the tapped in women? Where are the intuitive women? Where are my witches at? You know what I'm saying? Where are you? Let yourself be known. I'm just kidding. I've been waiting for the spirit stuff. Good. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got so excited. All right. So let's go. And that is the thing, Morgan said, I've been waiting for the spirit stuff because that's what drew me in over the others. And there's a reason why I don't put it all out there. And it's because there is a part of me that, how do I word this? It's just a little bitch and pussy sometimes, hello right here. I love y'all, man. All right. This is story time. I did a lot of 2023. I kind of quit working in Hot Moms. I really did. And I had to hire out some people to come in and do coaching for me. But now I'm back. I'm back because I had to take 2023 and find the goddess. Who here has found the goddess? She's a scary, powerful bitch. I'm just going to say it. But I took 2023 And I wanted to do one-on-one healing retreats where people come over. I had a couple people come over and they would do like kambo. Some would do ayahuasca. We didn't do any like mushroom journeys, but I love psilocybin and stuff like that. But really just to really clear out a lot of the shit. And then before that, we don't do some of them. We don't do any plant medicine. We just do activation, hands-on. Like this one girl, I went to Atlanta. We did an in-person session, Kelly, and we did kind of like a lineage rites of passage. And I have a MAR, the course for feminine rites of passage is a very powerful course, very powerful. Matter of fact, it's the channel. The channel created a MAR. So when women tap into the energy frequency of that, it's an instant shift. Of course, Hot Moms is a powerful container as well. It's just more on the human 3D side, whereas Amara is all goddess awakening. It is the cleaning out of the womb space and really connecting into your sacral energies and your sacral chakra and your creativity and sexuality and everything. And actually tomorrow on Thursday is going to be my sexual embodiment training live masterclass. And then after that, it's all going to be paid inside of Amar because it's sacred. It's really sacred stuff. So anyway, I won't bore you with any more of the shit. If you have any questions that come up, please put them in the chat. I'll try to look and see, and whatever comes up will come up. But I'm just going to share like how I got into the spirit stuff, how I got into stepping into the shaman that I am, the medicine woman, the thing, right? Because I think a lot of you, like you said, you're here for that reason and you want to know how. All right, so I'm going to take you back. First of all, I've always been a seer feeler. So, and even if you're female, females actually are intuitive by nature. And it was just choked out of us. It was shamed out of us. It was scared out of us because we would get burned for that shit. So a woman that's powerful and her power is known as a witch. She's evil. She's not of God, and she is XYZ. So what do we do as a woman? We don't show that side of ourselves because it's the witch wound, right? It's, yeah. So yeah, I see you, you see me, I got you. So I've always my whole life kind of been that way. I remember being a young child and I would feel energies. Certain energies would, I would just feel them. I would feel them. I could pick up on people's vibes, very empathic, could feel all of anybody that was around me. I could feel what they were feeling and that kind of thing. And also if you grow up in trauma, it's kind of a learned trait as well, because it's for your survival. So you need to look at the faces of people and feel the energy in the room and judge to see if it's okay to step out. So some of this shit is trauma response, but also from a long, long time ago, always been connected to animals, nature. Nature raised me. And actually in a DMT session one time, I will never forget, it was the coolest journey ever, because I've done journeys with and without medicine. And I'm going to get into that with medicine and without medicine, because I actually got into all this without medicine. And that's what I feel like so special, because I know a lot of people, they do medicine and get into the journey because it busts open your third eye. So I did it without any fucking medicine, which makes you feel fucking crazy. You feel like you are crazy. And then you find out, nope, you're just a highly powerful like channeler, and you're getting all this downloaded information. You don't know what to do with it because it is a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. And that's what I say a lot of times is, and I was taught this too from one of my beautiful lineage sisters. Oh my God. She said, this is not anxiety. This is an awakening. It is the goddess awakening. You gave her permission. She is awakening, right? Ego will say that it's anxiety to control us, and it's lost its power once we know that. This is not anxiety, it's an awakening, right? It's power, and power scares us. And I actually got to meet my power in the bathtub one time in Sedona, Arizona, and it scared the fuck out of me. But anyway, I'm gonna take you back. So always been kind of a tapped in, tuned in type child. I would see things and be, bypass like, oh, hey, I see granddad, or I see, I would dream of my dead ancestors and just kind of blown off, oh, she's a kid, whatever. But I would see dead people all the time. I see dead people all the time. And like I said, raised by nature. And the journey it took me back to where I grew up, like around these creeks. And I said, I'm scared. I remember in the journey being like, I'm scared. And a boar showed up, which is wonderful animal totem. And it said, you are nature's baby. You've always been protected. You've always been safe this whole time because you're nature's baby, right? And I was like, fuck yeah. So I grew up in nature. It was my escape. It was a safe place for me. And I look back and I'm like, fuck, because my kids are 7 and 8. And they're kind of scared to go by themselves off into the woods. And you know what? I used to go into the thickest of the thickest woods that I could find. I remember crawling into rock caves, and just feeling safe in nature. And my parents would be like so scared for me, but I would just wander off into the woods by myself and felt so safe. So, and still to this day, I crave sometimes going deep into the woods with nothing around and just like putting dirt over I just wanted to like inhale the trees, but there's a reason why. Anyway, so that's kind of my childhood. And if anybody here, anybody else, since you were a child, felt very connected to something different, maybe you saw things and felt things, and maybe they told you were nuts. My first funny story about it is when I was probably about 6 or 7. Y'all remember like Cleo, Miss Cleo, where you could call in the psychic line? Who remembers like where you could call in psychics? From like telephone psychics. Anybody remember? Oh, cool. Oh shit. I wanted to see what y'all are saying. I want to see what you're saying and I can't. Okay, here we go. Gina, I'm actually an empath. I can feel someone's pain emotions ever since I was a kid. I dreamt of dead loved ones and friends, and they actually talked to me. Me too, Gina. It was crazy too when I really got into it, what happened. I'm going to go through that as well. I'm telling you, this is a story time, so we can clip it out, and I think you're going to feel very seen and heard, and like we're all in this together. And you said, yeah, Miss Cleo. All right. So, and this is it. You don't tap into it much, but this is where I found, this is where everything is. And it's a part of ourselves that we really deny because of the world we live in. And we can't do that anymore. We literally can't do that anymore. So, I called one of those psychic lines when I was like 6 or 7, got in so much trouble. I don't know. I've just always been drawn to that. And then I got in trouble for calling them. It ran up the phone bill or something. And we came from like very lower middle class, poor people, kind of vibe. Did that. And then I remember in middle school this is what's interesting. And I teach all this in Amar. If you want it, when we're talking, just DM me and say Amar. The whole course, I think we've got payments of like $400 or something. The whole course is like $3,000. It's a very powerful activation for feminine divine rites of passage. But I remember when I came into womanhood, when I went through puberty, I got really into, I wanted to, how do I word this? Got really into witches, like really into wanting to, not darkness, but the magic. Something about mystical and magical witches like really drew me in. And I was like, I grew up Southern Baptist, okay, in a small town, okay. That's like, you can't even, if you're a white girl and date a black person there, they're very racist. Witchcraft, like seeing people, like you are fucking cast out of that place. Like there is very closed-minded, racist, poor, just, small town, the fear of God is put in you. And meanwhile, everybody's like drinking and on pills and shit. And it's just crazy, but it's very backwards way of living. I grew up like that. So you don't talk about this shit. Okay. So I did it by myself, very alone. So when I came into puberty, I started kind of just wanting to do like, sexual. I was real sexual coming into that. I loved connecting to like witches energy. I felt lots of power, and I loved like Cher. Oh my God. I'll never forget when I saw Cher, and if I could turn back time, and her fucking thong, and she's singing in the sexual and their power. And I'm like, that's the goddess. That's part of who we are in our goddess energy. So I've always been drawn to female power in what people that I grew up around would call whores, which whatever. So there was that on throughout that time. And also I was very attracted to, what are those shops called? Back then, the day they were like smoke shops, but they also had crystals. Oh, rocks, honey. I've got videos of me and crystals and rocks when I was 6 and 7 years old, trying to sell rocks and my crystals and giving crystals away. And like, I was into rocks, geodes, crystals. Holy shit. I can't even remember the time I saw them. I've been into rocks and crystals and stuff. So, and there's that. But anyway, high school kind of was a weird time for me because I got on the pill. Anytime you get on the pill and you alter your way of thinking, anytime you get on anything outside of yourself, it's going to kind of close the channel down. So the kids, right, we're wide open. We don't know who we are. And then things slowly get shut down by our society, culture, religion, being accepted and all that. And so high school happened. I got on birth control, got into the thing and the bullshit. Kind of lost touch with her, and times got really dark. A lot of things were going on at home. It got really fucking dark. And if you wanted, there's a video called the 17-year-old video. Highly recommend going and seeing that. It may be on the podcast too. It was a paid video, and I think we just made it public because it was so powerful. 17-year-old video, super healing video. So I go through all that, and I actually got on antidepressants. I got with a really fucking, of course, I was a nasty vibration. I was a really, really low vibration. It got me, you know, just some bad shit got me, man. Wanted to commit suicide. And actually, you know, when we want to do that, some of us people that's very sensitive struggle so much with substance abuse, with hard things in life, suicidal thoughts, because it's so painful to be in this body. We want to go home. We don't want to be here. There was many times when I've done soul retrievals and I'll go back to my former self or my little self, and I'll just be like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I've had moments like that, you know, in my adult days, but it's when my ego, parts of me were dying, and then rebirth was coming in. So that happened in high school, got out and just kind of, I've always sought after opportunity and things, spirit led, because I remember, and tell me if you've done this as well, thinking back, I remember being a little girl, daydreaming and just thinking about big stuff, like just being a dreamer always. So where are my dreamers at in here? Like I've always, no matter where I came from or what shit situation I was in, I've always had these dreams. Like, not that I thought that I could even do it. It's not that I would think I can do it. I just remember being a little girl thinking about, you know, Hollywood or just getting the fuck out of here. Like just wanting out of there and being something more, you know, just there's something more here. Anybody else? Like, I feel like there's more to life than what I'm living, kind of thing. I've always my whole life felt that way deep down. So maybe that's another sign, symbol, whatever you want to call it. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. So anybody else ever felt that? You know, dreamers, where my dreamers at? Are y'all fucking sleeping? Let me know. She said yes. All right. Thanks. There's one yes. I love it. Thank you, Tanya. Yes. Fast forward. Right. Let's see. My senior year, because it's important that you know that I get this whole thing on, you know, camera. You said Dreamweaver. Oh my God, that's the best song ever. I think I may listen to it today. Right when I graduated, there was word in the street that there was a psychic lady that was really good. And I remember trying to find this lady. And right when I got my car, we used to pass this psychic place. And I was like, when I get my license, I'm going first. And I did. I didn't tell anybody I went to this psychic. And of course, she was like a gypsy psychic where it's like, give me some money and I'll go break these curses on you. Totally. I didn't do it, but I was like, fuck, man. Anyway, so I kept seeking this one lady. I had heard about her like through the grapevine. This lady was a seer and she was like really good. And I was 17 at the time. I was working at the hospital because I was, you know, small town. You either become a teacher or a fucking nurse, right? And if I could make 60 grand, I would be doing better than anybody in my family. So I remember going to I work at the hospital. I thought I was big shit, man, wearing scrubs. Like I felt so proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? And also healing people. You know, any of you in healthcare, deep down, you may be a healer. It's just like all we know is the medicine ways, but there's also an alternative medicine way that's not with Western medicine. It's really cool. Highly recommended. So I found this psychic. All right. I found this psychic lady. And let me tell you, this bitch, R.I.P. Glenda, she lived in a, like, not even a single wide trailer. It was like a little bitty trailer. Okay. Junkyard, like junk in the yard. You go up to her door. 1,000 dogs and animals live in this house with her, and probably 10 people live there with her, you know, like extreme poverty. And I walk up to the door. She answers the door. I don't even know if this is her house. This was back before we had fucking GPS. You know, I mean, I graduated high school in 2004. So I roll up at her house. I think I'm at the right house. She comes to the door and she's this old lady. Her teeth, I don't know, she's not old lady. She's like maybe in her late 60s. Looks like road hard put up wet. I mean, she had a rough life. You can tell. Her teeth are like dentures. And when she talks, they move. And she dips. She's, what do you call it? Not Copenhagen, like dips, where you spit in a cup, whatever that's called. All right, so she comes to the door and she like almost knows that I'm there, like knows that she knew that I was coming. And she's like, yep, Yeah, I know. I can see you. I can maybe get you in this week. And I know you're not doing anything Tuesday. What about, and you got to work on, like, she knew my fucking schedule. And I'm like, whoa. I still to this day have never met somebody as spot on as her. She's not here anymore. She's in spirit, definitely connected to her. And, but she knew all that. And I'm like, this bitch is for real. I was so excited. And also, there was something about me that just felt really good being with psychics. It was like, from being a trauma survivor, it's almost like, tell me I'm going to be okay. Tell me my future, because just tell me my future. What do you see? Because I don't know. There was something in me that needed to know that I was going to be okay. Right. And I wasn't scared of this shit at all. I was never scared of it. My friends were really scared of it, but not me. It was like, I knew there was something here. I knew these ladies had something. And I went to see her for the first time. I sat down, her and her spit cup and everything. And what's cute is she didn't even have tarot cards. She shuffled regular playing cards. Regular playing cards she shuffled, okay? And she lays them out. She just started laying out shit that nobody would know. Nobody knew, and she's spot on. All this was great, wonderful validation. She told me, she was like, well, you've got the gift. You've got the gift if you want to use it, and was telling me like all about these gifts that I had. And I was like, no, we're cool. No, because I was taught you don't say yes to this shit. Like me just going there was forbidden, right? Where I come from. But she was telling me, you got the gift, and I wasn't trying to hear that. Just tell me what to do. Just tell me what you see. I don't want nothing to do with it, right? So I went to her a few times, and she helped me so much. She was like, because in my mind, it's almost, and still to this day, like, I believe in therapy, but when you're in it like I am, you don't see regular people. Like, for example, the MD that I see is a shaman. He's a shaman MD. My friend that works with me, she's a shaman. Her psychiatrist is a shaman. So it's almost like when you get into this realm, you can't work with normal people that aren't tapped in. You have to, if the massage therapist you go to, she has to be tapped into her gifts versus just a regular massage therapist. So it's almost like the people you find, even the nurse that gives me my IV, she's got like nose rings and she does breath work. It's like it's a different world. It's wild. So I started going to her, and she just made me feel really good. And knowing what I know now, it was like a therapy thing for me. I was in a really big transition, 18 years old, 17, 18, 19, actually met my boyfriends, husbands, like all these, went through a lot of shit. She really helped me out and gave me some validation because I didn't know how to access this myself. So there was a point in time, though, she told me, she goes, if I'm ever spot on, it's my time to go. And she actually moved around a lot because she said people would come after her because she would tell you to like not buy a certain car or avoid this. And somebody got in a car wreck after they saw her and they blamed her or some shit, whatever. And she goes, I told that girl not to buy that convertible, and she did. And that's what she got hit in. I mean, this lady was like spot on. Don't worry, she's not alive. And if she was, you would probably have her number because I'd give it to you. Anyway, so I saw her, and at the same time when I met my husband, I was doing all this stuff. And he goes, because he was like a Mr. Devout Christian, like he led thousands to Christ, spoke and went like celebrity status. Okay. He tells me, he goes, that stuff you're doing isn't right. And I just shrugged him off. Like I've always been that way. Kind of like, I care what people think, but this power that's within me is just a force to be reckoned with. And it's always going to be that way. But he told me, Skip was like, that stuff you're into is kind of like not right. And I was like, whatever. I just kept doing it. Made fun of the Christian music he listened to because he made fun of my shit. So whatever. Now he's like tapped in fully to his psychic abilities, and my clients pay him for fucking psychic work. Whatever. So she kind of went off the map. I transitioned, and this is when shit got real. This is when shit got real. Okay, are y'all ready for this one? Phase 2. 19 years old, 19, let's see, hold on, 19, 20 to 21 years old. I think I was 20, 21 years old. I got married at 21 because, I'm from the country, and that's what country motherfuckers do. They get married young, have babies young and shit. So I got married young. My grandmother died. That's what it was. Yeah. My grandmother passed away. And it had been a minute since I had gone to see my Glenda lady. And so I hadn't had any like spiritual advisors or my spirit family, because when you like that's really looking back what connected me to spirit. is her, because nobody else did. And church was different, right? It's a different. It is, but it isn't. Anyway, so my grandmother passed away, and I'm at her house going through her closet, not to steal stuff. I don't know what I was doing. She told me to go look and see if I wanted anything, or I don't really know. I'm in the closet, and I hear her voice. And in my head, of course, and there's a funny like test you can do to see if you're psychic or medium. And it's like, think of a song, who's singing it, and based on who you say singing it, is it the person or is it you? If you say you, you're more psychic. If you say the person that's singing, like Pearl Jam, you're more like medium. So I remember just kind of talking out loud and going, oh my God. Because I could hear her saying, Lord, this closet's so messy. Look what Jan did. Look at these shoes. And I remember just hearing all of it and going like, wait a minute, I'm just getting shoes. And then I catch myself like, bitch, you are talking out loud to nothing. And then I noticed it. I'm like, what? Oh, backing up, because it's hard to put everything in here. Backing up in high school, one little aspect I left out here, not intentionally. I used to have prophetic dreams. I would dream things and they'd come true. And one night is when I spoke up about it. I messaged my friend Rachel and I go, hey, did you go to XYZ with this guy? Did y'all do this as well? And did this happen? And she goes, have I talked to you? And I was like, I dreamed it, I think. And she goes, what the fuck? So I started having prophetic dreams right before my grandmother died. Okay. And I remember when I had met Skip before she died, and I would tell him every time I would dream these dreams, I'd wake up and tell him. And I still do that to this day, because he's witnessed a lot of things come true, things play out from my dreams. And so when my grandmother died and I fully heard her voice and had the medium experience, is when I kind of looked around like, all right, what the fuck's going on? So that kind of started me thinking like, what's going on? And, you ask and you're given. The student's ready, the teacher will appear. And so I'm living in Ackworth, Georgia at the time. And I remember I started doing, hold on. I don't know which one was first. Probably this one. I went outside and there was a dragonfly swarm, like odd. My whole life growing up a country girl, this has never happened. And I'm talking like to the point where I got in my car and was looking around. They were like fucking ding, 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 hitting the windows and stuff. And it was just strange. And I was like, what does this mean? And I get on my big ass phone back then and I'm like, what is the spiritual meaning of a dragonfly swarm? And I look it up and it's like all these amazing things. And so that happened. And then after my grandmother and the medium thing, and I could hear, she's dead, but I could hear her and all this. And I'm like, fucking A, man, I got to find some answers. And so I look up for, I think I searched a medium to find out like what the fuck's wrong with me, what's going on. And this is what's crazy. This is the cool thing about spirit world, coincidence, universal intelligence, God, all of it is I was seeking that. And I teach this in my courses. I have a course called Woo Codes, Energy Codes, and all that available for everybody if you want it. It's probably just go to the link in my bio or DM us and we'll get you. It's in the Bad Bitch membership or it's in my mastermind, Woo Codes and Energy Codes. And I said, because when you think and you want something, you're going to be given it. It's just how open are you to see it? Like a lot of women that pray for weight loss help and then they stumble upon me. The tapped in ones see it as all right, this is who I'm supposed to be working with. The other ones that's real asleep and ready to just continue saying their shit, they're like, they just stay in and like, oh, I'm busy or whatever. But Spirit's putting people in your path to help you. It's just, are you awake and are you awake enough to see it as a blessing? That's why some people just seem like things work out for them. Really, they're just more open than you are. So I wanted a medium. And so I called this number that I found for a medium. And when this guy answers, and I told him what I was looking for, he goes, well, I'm not the sign that you called. Because I'm like, is this so-and-so from this sign? And no, he goes, but I am a medium. So it's interesting that you say that. I'm like, oh shit. And I told him, I said, well, if that's the case, then it's a dead giveaway. This is a sign that I've got to work with you. If I found you on an accident, then I've got to work with you. So I did. And I worked with him for probably 3 or 4 years. And when I get with him, first thing he says is, you're a seer, feeler, healer. would you like to learn Reiki now? Would you like to just start doing level 1 so you understand how to heal yourself? Like, he was trying to get me into the medicine. And I was still kind of hesitant. I was still very hesitant, looking for him to tell me I'm looking at him to guide me, right? I did this for many years with many psychics. And this is why I teach this in my program. Like, I teach you how to tap into that. And that's what one girl, Karen, goes, does this course make you become more clairvoyant, clairaudient? I was like, no, hun, you've always been that way. Hot Moms just shatters all the bullshit away so you can tap into your channel and create the life you want, the body you want, because you are your best medicine. So this guy taught me a lot about kind of just what was the emotional part of me, who I was on a spiritual level. And I'm 21, 22 at the time. 22, maybe 22. Yeah. And I started working with him and really just kind of jumped in and met amazing ladies. We did like DNA activation codes, which I lead you through, and Hot Moms, for those that want it, not all of them. Like, if you just want to do weight loss, you can just do weight loss, but for the ones that want all this shit, it's there. So I did DNA activation code work, illumination work, and all these things. It went through a massive awakening, and it was 2010 I met him. Well, y'all know what happened in 2012, right? The big awakening, the earth shifts, the frequency. I mean, it's just holy shit. And if you notice, in 2008 was the downfall. Like, we went through a massive dark period. My husband and I, like, bad shit, like car repossessed, financial ruins, breaking away from family, homeless type shit. Usually when you hit bottom like that, or you go through something really challenging, it's an awakening. So that's why people, when they come to me and they're in these dire straits and they're no money or this, I'm like, this is beautiful. This is when you take action. This is when you step out in faith and you get into the medicine ways, because it's an awakening. But some people just choose to stay asleep because they don't know. So during this time, 2010, this was happening. I was going to church at the time still, because, I grew up Southern Baptist. I'm going to church by myself because I found a lot of positivity, because, the thing about church and worship is it's very good to escape, just like spiritualism and yoga and anything, is when it's a really nice thing to do to avoid how we're feeling, because it feels so good to tap into spirit and channel crystals and give Jesus the grace. Like, it feels so good, right? To tap into something higher that's not ourselves, when really we need to integrate and sit with a lot of the human shit so that we can be that channel and give ourselves more credit than we give ourselves. So I'm saying all this because this is a really important aspect. This is the awakening I went through. And I do have a video on that, when I stripped away the religious abuse that I was in. I was in a religious brainwash. I was brainwashed. Okay. I'm going to church a lot, really looking for answers. I'm reading the Bible front to back, really into just like, what does this mean? Right. This is the time, those that are into conspiracies in the Bible and like really just learning and leaning into seeking knowledge. That means you're seeking knowledge. You're going to find it, right? But you got to keep growing. So at the time, I'm reading the Bible front to back. I'm into all the things. I start taking care of my body. I start shopping at like Whole Foods. I didn't have any money, but I remember just like just going in there and getting like whole food stuff and really taking care of my body and getting the vessel clean and clear. I was working at a Christian school at the time. Isn't that funny? Like Casey that cusses, that's like a shaman, working at a Christian school, helped a lot of those motherfuckers get healthy too. So all this was happening. And Skip, Mr. Devout Christian boy, we went through a nasty awakening. I'm talking, you talk about nutting up. This is where people do like ayahuasca. We didn't do shit. This was just happening. And it's all because I started questioning things. And this is why they teach you not to question things, because there's higher knowledge there. The emerald toss, the emerald tablet toth, all these other things, these deep ancient ways come out. So I remember something happening at church, and I just questioned something that the pastor said. I was just questioning it because Skip was just a blind believer, because that's what they teach in church, is to be a blind believer, blind faith. Even though like logically you're like, what the fuck? Which is funny because, they'll say that you're like, you're into the dark arts, yet certain people believe like a ghost impregnated a woman. I'm like, that's that's fucking crazy, dog. I'm not laying here getting impregnated by an entity. Like, that's crazy as shit. But we believe what we believe in. It's all good. It's like, it's a brainwashing thing. Doesn't mean you don't believe in God. It's none of this. It's like, and even for me to say that, it feels shaky and wobbly because I know that this is a very narrow road. Okay. So I remember questioning something in the bathtub when Skip said something about the pastor. We looked at each other and just fucking knew it. We looked at each other and was like this new perspective, this new paradigm just literally opened up. We start getting all these downloads. And as I'm reading the Bible, I'm like, Skip, it says this, but it also could mean this. And doesn't that feel right? You know, like revelation. What if time doesn't exist? What if everybody goes through revelation? It's your personal, like the end times is that person's end time. And each of us are our own world. It's not one world. It's like we are all one, but it's like the end of time is our end of time. And we go through many deaths in one physical life because there's no time. Like all this shit that you would think we found mushrooms, we did not. This was all just natural things that happened from meditating and stuff like that. So we were going through all this and just didn't know what was going on. All we knew was like what the Bible was saying. So we were doing the best we could. And then we found the secret law of attraction, which tells me in my journey, in my experience, that the law of attraction is right above religion. And that's why a lot of people get scared of it, because they have kind of made it into a religion. Because some people, like today, a lady got on a call with me. She goes, oh, I've done the healing for this. And I'm like, well, tell me what you did. And they bypassed it. She goes, oh, I went back to that time and we made a new story. I'm like, that's why your back still hurts, because it's still in your body. So we got to get that out of your body, right? So like law of attraction is nothing to be afraid of, but there is an aspect that kind of like, it's why you see some people that are like gung-ho personal growth, but it's like, so you're saying abundance and preaching all this, yet your body looks like trash and you're sick all the time and your family life is shit and you don't have any, money struggles. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like looking at all this shit, same with, I don't know, it's whatever, carry on. So we found law of attraction, we found the secret. And when I saw the secret, we both, because it starts out like very dramatic, like ages ago, the things this and nobody knew it. And everything they were saying on the secret, everything they were saying about the secret, we were going through. I'm like, oh my God, somebody else does know what's going on. People, they've made a movie about it, Skip. We're tapped, like this is for real. The shit we've been going through and the things we've been shown is real. So the secret exposed that. And we kind of started going, down that path, and thoughts are things and vision boards and all that shit. And I got into it, which it is true, because it puts things in your mind, like it helps you dream bigger, which is great. You need to expand. And I loved it. And I feel like for me, it was just a stepping stone, right? Because it was part of the path. So, because I crave growth, I always want to just grow more and more and more. So we got into that, and I'm still working with this guy, this Reiki / guy, which he was very unhealthy as well, but was what I needed at the time. And still appreciate everybody in my journey. I appreciate everything, because it helped me so much. And that was the time when I went pro. I would use a lot of visualization. At the time, what I was doing was journeying. I didn't even know it. So at the time, 2012, when I went pro in the bodybuilding world, fitness, I was journeying. It's when I got my tattoo on the back of my neck. I woke up after a dream. I had the dream that like I had to go get this tattoo on the back of my neck. Had to. It was no question. It was for me. It was a download. It was channel. It was like, I'm getting the tattoo. During that whole time, I would journey. I would turn on YouTube videos to shamanic drumming. Should I drum? Should I just, let me get my drum. Just let you hear it one time. Let you hear it one time. Okay. So it would be journeys. It would be journeys like this. And they would talk, and they would take you to these places like underworld, go into the underworld, go into the woods. We're walking in the woods, like just journey. They would take you on these guided meditations with the drum. Take me, y'all. It would just take me. I would go in these trance states, and I did it just from YouTube videos. I would go into these journeys in these trance-like states and journey and go to these places and feel feelings and work with things and meet like I would find information there and like this higher knowledge. No medicine, no psychedelics, I swear. Yeah. And at the time, what's funny about psychedelics is I remember, because I was always into natural healing, loved holistic healing, which is usually a sign you're tapped into something. And I remember seeing ayahuasca tea, and it had these little shamans on each side, and they were holding a jump rope looking thing, and it had a brain, and it had all these toxic things coming out of the brain. It said your brain on ayahuasca, and it clears all the shit. And I go, damn, Skip, it says it's a tea. We need to get some. That's all I heard. That's all I said about ayahuasca. And swept it under the rug, didn't touch it for 10 more years. So I heard about ayahuasca, the plant, the psychedelic, came to me during this time of the awakening. I would give anything if I could go back, I would have probably sat with it. But it would have probably been maybe hard on me because there was a lot of trauma that I hadn't sat with yet. So maybe not. I think it worked out perfectly. And I'll talk more about that in a second. So where am I at? So I start journeying. And in the journey, Skip tells me, he goes, I can feel you. I don't know what you're doing. I can feel when you're doing that in the living room. I'm like, okay, cool. Man, I felt powerful. And I remember after I would do these journeys, bro, I've got pictures like these hawks, because I'm hawk in energy, in a spirit world. Like I'm a hawk. And this hawk that would come in and I mean, just look at me. It's just fucking nuts. I just remember calling animals up, and then I'd get made fun of. Like I remember a lady mentor I was working with, she'd make fun of me. You know, everybody makes fun of you. So, you know, you either got to not give a fuck or just not say anything about it and find your tribe and your weirdos, you know? So I was doing the journeys during that time, using the power of like visualization and feeling. I remember just feeling the feelings of winning the show, and there was a certainty in me, and I showed up, and everything I was doing was out of certainty. And now I teach that, like, all right, well, if you want the body, if you want the money, if you want the man, if you want anything, especially the health of the body, your job's just to literally believe that it's coming and show up. If you knew the body was here, if you knew you were going to reach your goals, like what would you do right now? If you knew that you were going to be okay, would you buy it right now? If you knew the money was coming, what would you do? If you knew the body was coming, what would you do? And then show up that way. So that's literally how I created all that amazing stuff. And in there we find, you know, we have to sit with some human emotions and go through some shit. That's fine. That's the work. Fast forward. Okay. Very green days. And I do have writings. I did a lot of like blog posts back then, and angel numbers were big to me, and animal totems. I would always look up, you know, if a fly or a spider, I would be like, spiritual meaning of that. I would always just see things around me and be like, all right, I'm being communicated with. What does this mean? And so there was just this connection, like everything in my reality and what's around me is me. And this is the sign for this. Like I was just fucking in it, man, in it. Fast forward, I go pro and I start diving into like multi-level marketing and the money aspect of things, because I wanted money. I wanted to make more money. And I thought that was going to make everything better. What really, you know, even the body, even you think the money's going to make you happy, the man, the body, it's not. It's you finding that, and then that will find you. You finding the emotion, and the thing will find you. And still find the thing, because you finding the thing, the money and the body, is going to create who you need to become. This is why you'll see some people, and myself, I've been miserable and I've had a hot body. I've been miserable and had millions of dollars. I don't want that. I want millions of dollars and to feel peace and love and just wonderful and fun. And then I want the hot body, and I want to feel sexy and feel good and have energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want for all of you, because I know you want that too. So fast forward, I go through about 7 years of hell. I mean, it was 7 years of just hard stuff. And we wanted to up and move. We wanted to like take a big, bold step. I was reading a lot of personal growth books, spending a lot of money I did not have on personal growth at the time. Still at this point, I had transitioned fully from religion over to spiritual woo-woo, but also making that a religion, right? Because it's even like atheism. Atheists, they're religious about atheists, whatever the fuck their religion's called. So it's like, the hard thing for me was not to create a religion around it. And it's still a thing where it's like, you know, to me, it should be very individual. Like, what do you need? You do what you need to do, and I'll do what I need to do. Because love is love. But everybody tries to make things religious. So, or like if you don't do it, you feel guilty, or if you do it, well, you just look up religious trauma, you'll get it. So fast forward, the sun's going down and it's absolutely gorgeous. I wish you could see it over the ocean. So fast forward, all these things happen. I'm wanting the money and I'm wanting success. And I kept just hitting blocks after blocks after blocks after blocks. Oh my God. I even hired a couple more psychics, and it turned out where I would go to these psychics and a couple of them didn't have good intentions and I would send them people, but they would talk bad about me to the people. And it was just kind of like, the psychic's like, you're fucked up. Give me some more money. Oh, you got all these things you need to clear. Let's do more sessions. Like, I'm not for that. Like, I want to teach you how to tap in and become your own healer and access the same thing that they're accessing. So, you know what I mean? So I kind of got caught in that trap of just constantly going to people because I didn't know how to make decisions for myself. Like I can't explain it. I can't explain it. So that was a few years, and I kept praying for success, and I kept dreaming of babies always. And I'm like, I don't want a baby. I was taught that babies don't make you successful. It's actually the opposite. I was taught that. My mom literally told me, like, I love you, but kids ruin your life, that kind of thing. So I thought that babies meant no money, your life's over, and mediocre, and just being a parent. I thought that was just like the end of things. But I'm at a personal growth event, and I remember just this overwhelming feeling of like, we got to do it. We've got to do it. We have to. And Skip was like, okay. So one of the three ways that women tap into their goddess is through the moon, their periods, and having babies. And men can tap into femininity as well. And they can tap into femininity. Obviously, they can't have periods or babies, so they tap in via the moon. So a woman comes into this power through her period, the moon, or children. And so when I had kids, everything shifted. It literally activated it activated the mother. It activated the mother. And this is when Hot Moms came out. So much creative energy, this sexual part of me I never knew existed, my femininity, like everything that had been dormant, because was traumatic. And that's why I created Hot Moms, because I was struggling so much, especially after kids. I was like, what the fuck? I had another breakdown. We had tons of codependency we had to work through. I put that all in here, like, because that was in the way of my health and weight. I was very codependent, like martyr, emasculated men. It was crazy. And at the root issue of my adrenal issues, I had cystic acne, I had burnout, and at the root of thyroid issues and adrenals, where all this is self-hate, it's resentment, it's anger. And I was running. I thrived on anger, because I had to have anger to survive. Like the way I grew up, it was my defense mechanism. So I didn't know any different. And then at the root of anger is sadness. So getting into all that, had the babies, created this business. And so at that time I was making, 6 figures, and I wanted to be, I wanted a millionaire. I wanted to be a millionaire. Anybody else here want to be a millionaire? And I actually I wasn't going to stop. It wasn't a matter of, can I do it? It was just like, I'm going for it. I don't give a shit. I'm just going for it. Might as well. I'm just going for it. And that's also in Millionaire Matrix, where I show you like how I did that, and money codes inside of Mastermind, and Bad Bitch Bundle, Bad Bitch Membership. So had the babies, created the business, and just kind of got on that path to becoming a millionaire. And at the time I was still working with the guy that did help me with Reiki. I wasn't really tapped into myself. I was still doing a little bit of the work on my own. I still wasn't fully meditating by myself. I didn't know how to journal. I didn't know how to access things inside myself. I only knew to depend on other people. So I was still working with him. And that's when it stopped, because one year, I think it was 2020 is when I stopped working with him. So he worked with me for like 7 years, and it was beautiful. It just, one of these things happened where a betrayal thing happened, and some energies came through, and at the vulnerability of both of us, it was just, we needed to split ways anyway. Neither one of us had the balls to do that, because we liked growth. And so something had to drive the wedge in between to break it off, and for me to grow. I had to grow beyond this, because he was enabling me. A lot of times teachers will do this. They will enable the student because they want to feel needed, right? And we can't do that. So, and then they say that song, the greatest of teachers won't hesitate to leave you by yourself. And that's what I believe in. You need support, but you also need to learn how to do things by yourself. We need community, but we also are alone in this together, right? So that split off. And at that time, I remember just doing a lot of the work myself. I remember this is when Hot Moms started to really boom. By the way, those of you that get in, the content from 2020 and the end of 2021 are nothing short of magic. And you can just see in the content, and it's what made Hot Moms a seven-figure brand, a multi-seven-figure brand. The magic that's inside of those trainings and the coaching calls that I did with those women, the recordings are there. Like the modules I created was from such a place of this magical energy of me finding the answers inside myself and how I was doing the work. All that's in there. So I really started tapping into the work, the embodiment of the work and what that looked like. And that's when I became a millionaire. I became a millionaire from doing the work. And the work was looking at where I was at then and doing everything myself on the inside, like sitting with myself every day, writing, crying, feeling the feelings, feeling the frustration, clearing out my mind, giving myself me times, walks on the beach, making sure I worked out and ate right, really into my body, really into taking care of myself and being with my family. And it was a great time. It was so beautiful. And all that is what created Hot Moms. And it's why women come into the energy and they get that magic, because when you enroll into containers that have frequencies like that, the transmission's there. So I was doing things on my own. I did have teachers online. I hired some coaches online, some coursework. I didn't hire them one-on-one. I didn't have that kind of money. I think I paid like $5,000 for a course, and it changed my life. Just being able to tap in and listen to other women in the work, giving myself permission to do the work. Hey, I'm not alone in this. Super, super helpful. So if you're not in a program like that, look, just get in. Just go straight to my website. Super helpful. So you don't feel alone in the journey. You're supported. You have what you need. And then the next level came, because I was making the money. I had become a millionaire, but I wanted more. I was like, this is cool, but there's still something missing. I don't feel abundant. This feels like a job where you're still trying to work to make ends meet. To like, what is going on? And honestly, it's a constant evolution. It's a constant growth thing. And it's fine. It's fun, because what else are we going to do? Fucking sit around and do nothing? Like we're not made for that. So I need some drink. Hold on. This is where shit gets real. Because I know a lot of you that's followed me. Just tell me right now, who's followed me in the past 3 years and you've noticed the biggest shift? Like, was the biggest shift that you followed me in 2020 or last year? Like, was it 2021, 2020, or last year? Let me know in the comments, because a lot of my mastermind people say they noticed the biggest shift in me within the last year. So let me know. I'm going to tap over here and see what y'all are saying. Sorry, I'm right in your face, but I have to clear my throat. I can't see. Shit. Hold on. Who? Well, that's gone too. You said yes, 2021. So you noticed the biggest shift. You said me in 2021. Okay. Yeah. Who else? Did you notice the biggest shift in me in 2021 or 2023? Which one? 2021, 2023? Which one of those? And a lot of students that I have now, they're like, what were you doing around July of this year? Like, what were you doing? I've noticed like this softness, this like, what did you do? And this is where shit gets real. Okay. This is where shit gets real. So 2021, Tanya, is when I did ayahuasca. I did ayahuasca for the first time because it came back into my awareness. And I was like, oh my God, here it is again. So who knows about it? What does it mean? And that's when I sat with Aya for the first time. It was an amazing, life-changing experience for me. It was great. And it really just showed me, that I'm going to be okay. I'm very loved. You said, I haven't followed you that long, but I noticed after the fire. Yeah. What did you notice, Lindsay? Tell me what you noticed. It'd be fun. I can pinpoint probably which one it was, because it's hard for me to remember, from 2009, but I know 2000, 2021, 22, 23. So what did you notice after the fire, Lindsay? Okay. So 2022, I'm rolling in, and at the end of 2021, it was like after the Aya. It's like after I did Aya, yes, it helped, but everything shifted in a scary fucking way. It was like letting go of lots of control. And that is fucking scary. So everything I was doing, everything that was going on, it was like not anymore. It was like things were changing, and I had started working with this guy coach. I paid him like 120 grand to work with him for marketing. And it was wonderful. Like I learned marketing, but it took me away from the feminine work. He actually made fun of it, and it was fine because I've been made fun of my whole life and talked about, but it was like I denied the feminine. I denied the goddess because I was going back into the masculine to like make the money, right? And there's so many women out there in the bro industry, in the bro world. Let me know, Lindsay. So I started doing that, and I hit that point, you know, I'm starting to work with all these dudes again, getting into the bro stuff, kind of like in the bodybuilding world when you start to buy those bro diets and stuff, and you find yourself burnt the fuck out in metabolic damage. Yeah, I found myself stressed the fuck out doing sales meetings and literally like running a corporation. Hello. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, not to run a fucking corporation. If I wanted to run a corporation, I'd have gone to school and wear business fucking suits and had small talk and fucking had to act right. It was soul draining, but I thought it was what was required to grow the business, scale the business, and all this, even though I was watching females do it and they didn't need to do that, right? So I was just like, something's still off. This doesn't feel good, but I did it anyway because I'm like that. I'm like, I'm going to do it. If it's what it takes, I'm going to do it. I think we can all kind of relate to that. And I remember hitting another breaking point coming into the fall solstice, which pay attention because solstice times, you know, are the times when we're ending a cycle, death of a season, beginning and rebirth of a new season. So you pay attention to the cycles of the moon and the seasons and the equinox because we are all just connected to that. So it was coming up on the fall equinox. I think, okay, yeah, here's what happened. So after I did Aya, my friend that does plants with me messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to do Bufo? Do you want to do DMT? And I was like, sure. Because I'm thinking still, I'm looking at the plants like they're the psychics, like they have the answers. And I'm not saying that's the right or wrong way, but wasn't really the way. To me, they should be looked at as medicine to heal you, not to seek, not to like find answers or whatever. Just for me, if I could go back, I would say, Casey, don't go to it for answers, go to it for healing. Like what's something that you want this medicine to heal, you know? So where's my cough drop right now? So I did Bufo, which is one of the most powerful DMTs on the planet. Psychedelics. I did that in Cambo, which Cambo is a frog poison. They're both from frog poison, which to me, I don't think it's like poison's hot, whatever. I mean, Tony Robbins has done this shit. Like Tyson is what he's done, like all these things, but it's not like mushrooms. This is like a legit poison, but it has wonderful benefits. Like, I mean, I've watched what it's done with addicts and I'm like, can we get this in hospital or something? So I did both of those and had a big shift. And I remember in the journey, all right, this is it. This is the new earth shit. 2022. Yeah, 2022, June, I think is when I did it. I went in and it was pretty scary because it's just it's a scary medicine for me. Ayahuasca wasn't nothing like that. This was really powerful and it's very masculine. Aya to me feels very feminine. And I remember going in and thinking, the messages were, I was ripped out of this earth, not this earth, of an earth, taken away from my parents, my mommy and my daddy, which is fine because they're estranged anyway because they're abusive. And even if I set boundaries, they don't respect those boundaries. So literally I can't have contact with them for health purposes. So, I get snatched out of the old earth and it's scary as fuck because I even did that with a lady today. I did a soul retrieval with a lady and we had to go get her from her parents. And it's sad and it's scary because, you know, even if a child comes in the ER that's been beaten and their bones are broken by their mother, they're clinging to the mother's leg because we're programmed to be like, that's my mommy, right? That's my mommy. So I was ripped from this old earth, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm having to like breathe myself through it. Like you're here, you're still here. And it was just scary. And they're taking me, like, I'm talking, and this journey is 20 minutes. So you go in that fast. You go galactic. You go from being human to fucking another realm quick. They take me from the old earth, from my people, and they're like, it's okay, trust. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to do that. Fuck, that's feminine. I don't know. Because it's not safe to trust, right? So they're like, trust. And right then, something says, we're going to send you more people like Sarah, one of my shaman friends that's changed my life. I met her in 2019. Thanks, Stacey, for hooking that up. I met her and things shifted big time because, oh, man, it's just like meeting somebody that, like when I met my spirit guide for the first time in a dream in 2012. And when I met her, it was a feeling. Those of you that's met your higher self or your spirit guide or whatever you want to call it, or God or Jesus, it's like the best feeling. I dreamed that I had ran off the road. Sorry to go all over the place. I just forgot about this one. I dreamed that I ran off the road and I came out on a river. The river's coming towards me. It's a big wide river. River's coming towards me, and we're on the water, and I'm walking on the water, and I see this cottage that's sitting on the water. And I know I'm dreaming, I knew back then that I had lucid dreams, and I'm like, fuck yeah. So I come up on this cottage, and on the outside of the cottage, there's like butterflies in jars and very witchy shit. And I get up to the door, and this beautiful woman that looks like Alanis Morissette, she looks at me, and she's gorgeous. And the way she looks at me, I felt this so much love. And she's like, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. Like, there's this homecoming. And from that day, it was like, okay, that's my guide, but it's also part of me. That's my witchy part. That's my medicine woman. That's whatever. So now that you know that from 2012, skipping back over to the DMT Bufo, right? When I met Sarah, it was like that. It was like I was real afraid to connect with her because she could see me. Like she could see my soul. And a lot of women get scared to work with me for the same way. Matter of fact, I had one of the ladies over here. We were doing it one-to-one intimate, retreat. And I said, why do I feel like you want to kill me right now? Like literally like knife come at me. And she kind of didn't know what to say, but then she came clean and she said, I kind of do, but not like I'm not going to in this physical world. She goes, it's just like you can see me. You know things about me. You see me. And I feel like because you see me, you're going to come for me and you're going to hurt me. And I was like, I know. And I feel a lot of you are that way too. And my heart's there for you. You said, are you talking about mushrooms like gummies? No, honey. No, we've done those, but this specific time I'm talking about DMT, like Bufo. So when I met Sarah, though, I felt so much fear because she's powerful. And I just remember feeling like, because she can see me and now she's going to come for me because everybody else that I've worked with has used my resources, stolen like clients, which they can never steal clients because you don't want those clients that are going to go with them anyway. They're doing you a favor. But I saw it as they're going to come in and use the gratefulness of my heart that's giving them business and sharing me, and they're going to like use it against me and all these things. And so I was scared to work with her, but I kept my heart open. I don't know, something about it was like, keep your heart open, right? And it was the most beautiful union ever. And so in that Bufo journey, when they're taking me out and I'm so scared, it says, we're going to send you more people like her. And I was like, okay. And then I was like rushing to come out of it. And I said, hold on, I'm coming. And I remember my friend saying, take your time. That hit me. And I was like, fuck, everything we want. Just say, if you could take your time, well, then what? It like, if I could take my time, it's like peace, you can tap into peace and trust. So it was a very profound experience for me, but it leaves you kind of like, what the fuck? And the integration's wild. Like it's a very dangerous medicine. I'll say that. So 3 months rolled by and here came the lady. This lady, how did I meet her? I was going to a craniosacral therapist at the time. Still see him, Mr. Wizard. He tells me there's somebody I want you to meet. there's a lady that I think has something for you. And I'm like, what the fuck? He goes, she does these women's retreats. And I'm like, oh God, whatever. I'm thinking of like Bro World. These women are on here selling retreats for 15K and we're going to hold hands in a circle and talk about our pussies. You know what I mean? Yannies. Yeah, that's usually when you need the shit, when you talk about it like that. So he goes, I want to connect you with her. I think she's got some codes for you. And this guy's religious. This guy's like, I'm talking, he leads me to Jesus every time I'm on his table, religious. But he works with like really powerful shamans. And I'm like, okay, we work with the same love, but I'm glad that you're open to this. He connects me with her and this lady reaches out to me out of the blue. Out of the blue, this was September 2022. Yeah. And she sends me this, it's her in a video, and she's doing a fire ceremony. Beautiful, gorgeous fire ceremony. And it was a full moon. Oh, yes. It was a full moon. And I was doing full moon kind of stuff anyway. I was kind of already getting into that because, you know, for me, I wanted connection and I was getting into feminine, like connecting with fire or connecting with moon and full moons and writing my letters and doing all that stuff. And she sends me the video of her doing fire ceremony during the full moon. And the way she talked to me was kind of like, I was like, oh God, like, I have something for you. There's gifts here for you and much love, blessed be, you know, all that shit, all that talk, right? Which, you know me. So when I first heard that, I'm kind of like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, oh God. But I watched the video because I'm respecting, like, this is his referral. This is this lady. Clearly there's something here for me. It's like, okay, kind of sniffing it out, right? So she sends me this video and I watch it and I cry because it's such a beautiful ceremony. I mean, I could feel so much love from the gratitude and the blessing of the fire and the beautiful ceremony that she set up for that. And I'm like, wow, because deep in me, and tell me if you've been here, have you in your journey felt like there's more? Like you're in the spirit world, you're doing this stuff, you're tapped in, but you're like, there's another level of this shit. Almost like there's another like secret code. There's some secrets that's being kept from me. Have you ever felt that way? I felt that way before I found this lady. I felt like there's secrets, and I was going to sign up with this one lady online that does like, 70 million a year, and she does marketing online and she's really mystical. And I was like, it's gotta be her. I gotta sign up with her. But I didn't. And I held out and I was like, but have anybody ever felt like that? Like where you're like, there's some like mystical secrets that I don't know. Anybody else? Cause I felt that way. I was like, there's some codes that I don't know about, but I want to know about. Like there's just ness in me that's like, there's something else out there that I need to know. You said yes. Okay. So I asked for that. Tanya, you signed up for a MAR too, right? Because a lot of this is in a MAR. Italiana says, yeah. So that's what I was asking for. And here come this lady. You said there right now, Morgan. Oh, must be why we are here. Trust. So I watched this, and here's what gets me about her. Because I can kind of see her through the fire in the video, right? And this bitch has on Gucci boots. And you're going to know who I'm talking about in all my videos when you join me. And you're going to hear me talk about my Gucci boots lady. Okay? And she had on Gucci boots because normally in this world, in this like spirit world and psychics and mediums and powerful shamanic women, poverty runs rampant, right? Because they want to help people. They're very heart-centered, so they feel guilty if they charge money, kind of thing. So it was rare to me to see a woman this powerful, tapped into her power, but in Gucci boots around a fucking fire ceremony. Gorgeous sex. She was sexy as fuck. These long earrings. I'm like, okay, got my attention now because I like hot bitches. I do. Like there's something about like it's another level of power if you fucking own your shit and you look hot. Like it's just what it is. And I think that's why a lot of women want to look hot because it's powerful. It is powerful. We're not going to use it for negative, but it's powerful. So she's hot. I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then this bitch says in one of her things, she's like, wheels up, private jet, wheels up. And I'm like, I can fuck with her because I'm wanting this next level of abundance. I can fuck with her, right? And she asked me, she reaches back out and was like, what do you think about it? And I knew she's probably going to try to sell me something. Can't wait to watch this. I knew she's going to try to sell me something. And how did it work out? Everything in me was like really scared to work with her. Everything in me was just kind of like, there's this deep feeling that's like, this could be really dark. This could be really fucking dark, but it could be so cool. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Where you're really scared. A lot of you say you're scared to work with me like that. And that's fucking awesome because it's the power. But a lot of times it could feel dark because it's a lot of power. Power can feel dark, especially if you come from not being in power. So I was kind of scared to work with her. I got Sarah to check and I'm like, what's this? Is this, do I make this move? Like, help me. Like, I've done the clearings and it's a yes, but maybe I'm traumatized. Maybe I don't see something. What do you see? And she goes, Casey, this bitch is real. This is like, she's the real shit. Everything in me, spirit, she's the real shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So this lady was like, all right, in the text message. And she's like, I'll meet with you. I don't normally do this, blah, 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 blah. I'll come to you. And I'm like, okay. And I was a member at the time at the Don Cesar Club, hotel club in St. Pete. Yeah, because we were living in Tierra Verde, Florida. And she goes, I'll come to you. And so I get to the hotel place. And in the Dawn Club, you got your own like club members lounge. So I walk out front because she's there. And, did I dress? I don't think I dressed up, but I looked okay. I walk out front and here she, I just love this. It's epic. Here she drives up the beautiful, the Don Cesar is gorgeous. It's an iconic hotel. It's the Pink Palace. Drives up in her Rolls Royce, her white Rolls Royce wagon. And she's got a hat on, which is, I'm like, I love my hats. I'm like, bitch. But I'm like, let me watch. Because obviously she's very wealthy. She's driving up in a Rolls Royce. She's got a hat on. I said, let me see how she treats the valet people. Because I always pay attention to how people treat wait staffs and, people like that. And she's very kind, kind of like laughed and did a thing with him and walked over. And she has on like Gucci. She has on jeans and a short cropped jacket with her hat and beautiful earrings and like this like Gucci high heels. And the way she looks is so funny because she reads energy. So she sees me and she's just like studying me. She doesn't really smile. She's just studying me, which makes me feel like, oh, fuck. So she's just like reading me. Like she's almost looking at me like, like judging, reading, judging, reading. So it's kind of uncomfortable. I'm like, all right, come on in. Cause whatever. So I'm like, come on in. Cause the money doesn't, I was at a point, where money doesn't make me feel inferior. It's more of an energy thing. So, cause I'd been around a lot of people with way more money than maybe she had. So it wasn't the Rolls Royce, but there was a time in my life, if somebody rolled up in a Rolls Royce, I'd feel immediately like I was a piece of shit and they're way better than me. I didn't feel like that. It was just more of like, well, this bitch looking at me like, oh shit, oh fuck, what's going to happen? Am I going to be like with somebody awkward here? What's going to, can I get out of this situation? And so we go back. I said, where would you like to go? Do you want to go to the private room? Yes, let's go there. And so we go downstairs to the private room and she's got a fucking huge bag with her. And she starts pulling out, fucking cards, crystals, and she lights a candle. And I'm like, I get so nervous because I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to be lighting the fucking candle, but I'm not going to say anything to her. And she goes, so why am I here? And I was like, she's like, who are you? What's your other name? And I was like, the fuck? She's asking me all these questions. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but I knew right then, right when she started talking, she's on a higher dimension. You just knew right when she started talking, she's speaking to my soul. She's not talking to the human Casey. This took me 3 months to figure out because I was like, is she schizophrenic or the fuck? But no, everything she would say when she was in this energy was on 5D, 12D, fucking soul. It wasn't to the human. And I told her, I was like, here I am, I made this, we've done this, but I feel like I should be making way more. I just want to know what this. And she's like, I see you as abundant. I don't understand. She goes, I see you as abundant. So, wow. And so we start asking some stuff and talking and she lights this candle and starts burning these fucking incense. And I remember saying something to her like, hey, something like, I don't know if we should light that in here. And I said something. She leans over and goes, we're invisible. Like serious, like dead ass serious. Like we're invisible. And motherfuckers are walking through, like not saying anything to us. And I was like, oh shit. So there's this, now I'm like, is she crazy? But so I am captivated at this point. I'm going to do whatever this bitch says. And so one thing led to the next. Wonderful conversation. And she did tell me, she said, I don't work with people who make me their demons, who makes their angels their demons. And I was like, what? And she said, in the past, have you worked with people who's helped you that it's ended up bad? And I was like, well, yeah. She goes, well, I don't work with people who make their angels or demons, because what that means is, like, if somebody comes in to help you on a soul level, if you're not ready, it's going to end in a bad way, because you weren't a vibrational match yet for that high frequency a lot, or she needed to do some work and she wasn't doing her work. You're not doing her work, whatever. People that try to help you and you make them your demons, right? And I was like, okay, I get it. So we ended up doing some crazy stuff there, powerful work there. And it ended. And then she tells me she goes, all right. And I'm like, this is going to be, because I had already paid 120 grand for a one-on-one. I paid $70,000 for a mastermind. So I'm like, oh God, here we go. I bet it's going to be 100 grand, right? Because I mean, she drives up in a Rolls Royce, obviously, and she wants to work with me one-on-one. This shit's going to be fucking 100K. I was prepared for that. Didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I was just going to be like, I can do it though. I can make payments on it. Well, she goes, it's 1,500 for today. And it was like 4 hours. So in the business world, I'm like, this don't make no sense. This bitch is wealthy as fuck, and she only charged me $1,500. I charge $1,500 for 1 hour of a healing session, or like 2 sessions, because sometimes it goes into 2. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I pay her the money, and I pay her on Venmo, and she, how does it work? I forget how I paid her. Yeah. I paid her on Venmo, and she sent it back. Immediately, I get triggered into like rejection. She doesn't want to work with me, all these mommy stuff. But I was aware enough to be like, wow, so all these feelings are coming up. This is what I've got to clear. And I was like, this bitch is good, because she's showing me what needs to be healed to move forward. Because some people would be like, what a bitch. And they would go into reactive mode and like come at her, right? I saw it and I reflected. I'm like, interesting. And I started feeling like, here's how I'm feeling, and looking at it. And I was just like, oh, hey, what's that about? And she goes, I want this to be sacred, and I want this to be whatever. And so she made me pay her in a different way, like in a different energy, not just a here, I'm going to pay you for what you gave me. She wanted me to tap into my heart and make it as this donation, and to connect to love. And the way she taught me how to buy things even changed my life. And so I did it, and I worked with her for 3 months. And it was only like 15K, which once again, I'm like, what is going on here? Why is this lady not charging me? This should be $100,000. This should be 100K. And we worked together, and holy shit. It turns out so many things I was doing, like just like dried roses, how I would dry roses and do certain things. And she'd say, you're doing all the stuff, but you don't know why you're doing it. She goes, you're literally doing all the stuff, but you have no clue why you're doing it. I'm like, yeah. So she kind of came in and showed me the rites. Like she did like this initiation, and shared with me these beautiful sacred things that I do share. I have Amar, and we do a lot in there, because it's beautiful power. It's really powerful stuff. So many crazy things changed. So immediately after I started working with her, I did this, like, I don't even know if you'd call it ritual, but I did this thing with the earth, tapping into the earth. Because my goal in 2023 and 2022, I was like, yes, I want the abundance, but I want to tap in. I want to feel connected. I want to be tapped into nature. You know how, like, do you ever go through your day and go through your week and you just feel disconnected? And you see people in nature and you're just like, you feel sad, or it's just like, you just feel like disconnected. I wanted to feel connected. I didn't feel connected. And that's what I wanted to do, was to connect to my femininity, to connect to my power, to connect to my goddess, right? And that's what we did. Because to me, getting tapped into the earth's frequencies and tapping into Pachamama, tapping into Gaia was the answer. And I didn't know how to do that. So I learned all these things, and I remember the first thing that I did to set things in motion, like the hurricane came. I was like, oh, great. And she goes, I did this too when I da 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 da, and this is your rain, and I want you to get some of that rain and bathe with it because that's your rain. You blew in this and you did this. And I was like, okay. So she made everything ritual. She made everything mean something. Like the gratitude this lady worked with and the way she did things, it was just like so special. Everything was significant to her. And I was like, oh my God. And her kids, she had 4 kids. They all drove like Lamborghinis, flew helicopters, flew planes. They did homeschool, lived in like, one house was 20 million here, one house was 20 million. They're like fucking loaded. And she said, I taught my kids metaphysical science. That's all I did. I taught them metaphysical science. We do the nature ways. We do, yes, like energetics and like the law of attraction, but it's more on nature ways, the medicine. And she was a big, she had done lots of ayahuasca. She said she was Aya in walking form, like that kind of thing. Very connected with the earth, very connected. I'm talking like if a tree fell down or something, it'd ruin her. She did all kind of like praying stuff. She did sacred feminine circles, like really connected, just connected. Right. And that's what I was craving. And that's a lot of power. And especially for somebody like me that had just completely cut it off and killed that part of myself. So worked with her, and soon after, what happened, the big fire, and a lot of people will be like, oh, it's because you were in the dark stuff. But if you knew what I had wished for, it would make sense, because I was going around the house literally saying, I want a fresh start. I want to start over. I want this. I want that. Skip was even saying like, I'm tired of this shit. We just need to get rid of all of it. So we kind of got what we asked for. The way how we survived it still is a miracle. How everything played out has a higher purpose. Even in 2023, and me sharing with my clients what I went through, the sexual shame, like opening up to the goddess and to like working with Kali, working with Sekhmet, all these goddess energies, and tapping into sexual frequencies and power, true power. Different world, different, different world. And that's why now, getting back and coming back into my body and coming back into the integration work of everything that I did in the past year. I mean, it's wild. It's really wild. And that's where we are now. And so my business really switched from doing things the bro way. Like we used to not force, but, do hard sales and like objection handle and all this shit in the earlier days, which, I mean, a lot of the women won with it, and they told us, thank you for pushing me over the edge. But it's gotten to the point where it didn't feel in alignment with me anymore. And deep down, all I wanted to do was like this, because this is what I love doing. I love sharing and connecting with you. I love the podcast. I love all of this stuff. And I wasn't able to do any of that. So the crazy thing that we just did, that was part of all of this, was I had that group, right? I had the Facebook group that I'd had for years, 2020. And it had people in there from 2020, which were no longer the vibe that I was in. And I could hardly be in there. All of 23, I was like, it just didn't feel good. It just didn't feel good. And deep down, like there were certain members in there, the energy felt horrible. And I once enrolled them, right? And so I was like, fuck, what's happening? And I just said, fuck it, man. We're stopping. We're done with it. I'm moving on. I'm going to create Hot Moms in a new container. It's going to be updated information, the same information. And those of you that have always been here, you get lifetime access to the content, but I'm going over here and I'm going to do more intimate work. I'm going to do new stuff, new content, the new way, right? If a woman wishes to step more into her femininity and her true power and become healthy so that she can tap into this power and become more abundant and happy in her relationships and the better mommy and the better, just truly the dreaming with her eyes wide open and learning how to do it. That's who I'm for. It's the ones that are like, I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to fucking figure out a way. You said you allow things to be, you seem aligned in what you say 100%. And it shows you are doing what you want unapologetically. Those are very basic changes I've seen, but it's also huge to me and why I'm here. Yeah. So we shut that down, and then I opened it up, a new platform, and the energy, y'all, like students that once sang my praises and just all this stuff, but deep down, like I knew that their energy, like I would have never worked with them. I only worked with them for money and because I wanted to help them and like feel good about myself came from me. Like we had to block some people and let's say no, right? Because they went, it triggered their trauma response when I said yes to growth and evolution for myself. A lot of them were like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And it was like the sweetest homecoming, lots of tears and all these things. And a few of them upgraded and like chose to join me and continue, which was incredible. And so now I'm in this void where it's like, I'm scared. It feels like the old times. Like there's an awakening happening. There's death. Earlier this year, I went through a phase where I had let these energies come back in and just kind of fell into the thing again. Like, what am I doing? Why have I made it so hard? These people that are in my life, like, what is going on? And I just was like, I pulled the plug, man, choosing myself. And it's crazy because, business switched up. We went 2 months, complete change in business. Money switched over. Like, how are we going to make this work? Like all these things, but just changing over and then trusting and going back and doing the work that I teach in the community and the course and plugging back into myself and my soul and the trust and the faith. And then calling in the soul clients that truly want to be healthy for the right reasons. Truly know that, hey, I know there's something going on here. I want your doctors. I want to know what you do because clearly it works. Clearly there's things that I don't know. Those people, they're getting profound shifts and changes. And that's who I'm here for. It feels good. And the ones that don't feel good, it's like, you know what? We don't even offer. It's like, just maybe start with this over here, So that's kind of where we're at now. We're launching an app. I created apparel while I was out here. That's in manufacturing. It's like so much creative energy and the ending of the cycle right here in December and the solstice. It's like, holy shit. It's just tons of changes. So those of you that feel it and feel this pull for being something greater, going to this new earth, and you do have anxiety right now and scared, like, I don't know what's going to happen. You need to tap into your power. Start creating. What if you did know what was going to happen? Then what? What if you did know? What if you knew you were going to be okay? What if you knew the money was going to be there? What if you knew that all you had to do was step out in faith and trust? Right? What if you knew you were going to get the body? You just had to take action. What if you knew that this is the thing, right? So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm inviting you. Do it. Take the leap. That's who I enjoy working with. I think I told you everything, like how I got here, the spirit journey, where we're at now. And for me, moving forward, we do have a plant medicine retreat. I send you to someone that I met through a beautiful student. Wonderful. Because I did work with someone else and it was sticky energy. It didn't feel well. It didn't feel right. And I just want to send my people to people that feel good to me, that trust, it just feels good. But yeah, you don't, it's not that you need that. And I will say that the medicines, I can't imagine doing those medicines without doing the trauma work, without doing the human integration trauma work that we teach in Hot Moms. I can't imagine. And we have therapists joining, like, to get medical professionals, NPs, therapists, health coaches joining this program blows me away, because the things that they're going to learn and the things that they do and embody and teach and put out in the marketplace, like, that's what it's about. That's what it's about, is connecting and collaborating. So that's my story. Any questions? I kind of gave all of it. I don't think I left anything out. Maybe not. I don't know. The only thing that I came up on as a real big challenge was doing one-on-ones. I got to a point where it's hard to do one-on-ones. I was doing those a lot this year and way too much energetic, where I would become them. Really, it was a lot in the shaman world. Like it was hard for me to work one-on-one with people. I had to create new boundaries. I'll just say that I had to create really strong boundaries and find out how to reserve my energy and how to allow them space to heal. It was a lot. So I learned a lot this year. Yeah. What questions do you have? Questions, and I shall answer. Let me know. Those of you, Facebook, YouTube, Insta, questions. How are we feeling? What is up? And I know there's a delay. Hopefully my mic is still on. There right now. Yeah. My sound is messing up. Oh, yeah? Really? What's the sound doing? What is the sound doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I do have a mic plugged into my phone, but the mic's supposed to be right here. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me on Insta? Because Lindsay, you're on, oh, Jessica. Jessica had a lot of healing, lots of healing this year. Starting. What did you say, Morgan? Starting. What did you say, Morgan? Let me see. Starting. Yeah, what did you say, Morgan? Because I missed it. Whatever you said on starting. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I don't see, Morgan, what you're saying. Starting. I had a girl that told me she had told me that she purposely had to distance herself from me because she saw some stuff while doing gummies. Has this ever happened to you? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I had to tell a client the other day, I was like, I energetically can't work. There's like, I said, there's a darkness, okay, here, like entity. You're going to have to get healthy. You're going to have to do these things that I'm telling you to do, or it's got you. And I can't work with, like, I dream. So if somebody's got a dark energy attached to them, I will have like this weird nightmare before, like this girl that needed to get out of my company. I dreamed that I was walking up on a swimming pool. And I saw this girl over on the edge, kind of like this Latin looking girl. And she kind of like jumped in and acted like she was drowning and fell to the bottom. And myself knew, I was like, that bitch. I said, damn, she's going to drown if I don't get her. And I was like, she's fucking with me. Right when I was like, she's fucking with me. And I walked on, you know, those horror movies where the thing goes and comes up on you. I turned around and she was there and her eyes were like fucking. And I was going to walk in my house and I said, get out of this house, like this weird loud voice. And it like went away. I woke up and the next day it was just like, get her out. And I let go of this girl and quickly found out why. And then when I talked to my whole team, we were like, dude, when you brought her in, everything shifted. Yeah. And it was just, I was in such a vulnerable place. I was learning to trust myself and I didn't trust myself. I even told her, I had proof. I said, I just want you to know I feel all of this stuff. And I just want you to know that, oh, no. So like this year was a big year of me trusting myself. So yeah, if your friend was on gummies and said that, then, and apparently, am I just calling it in? If you've got some stuff around you, taking back motherhood. Yeah. I mean, are you in the program? Are you doing any of the healing work? Because I did have that frequency where a lot of unhealed women, you know, came in, the women who just, they wanted it, but they're fucking in money blocks. And then they just want to gnaw at me. They just want to be like, you fucking said this and you fucking said that. And you're just a fucking whatever. And like, it's bad energy. So I don't know, but are you doing the healing work? Because listen, I've had dark energies, you know, without the darkness, you wouldn't be as positive. So if you have any darkness around you, you've got to get the fuck rid of it. I mean, I did. That's when I tried to kill myself. These dark energies, they make you fat. They make you sick. They make you unmotivated. Dark energies, they keep you unmotivated. They make you want to eat bad food. They make you poor. They make you scared to spend money. You got to be stronger, man. You got to go towards the light. These dark energies, motherfuckers, are real. Yeah. Yep. What else? I love questions like that. What other spirit questions do we have? Because it's all related to health and fitness. All relevant. Because the healthier you are, the happier you are, the wealthier you are, but not, I hate to say it like that. It's not all these things keep you protected, but it's like who you have to become to attract heart-centered money, because it's all connected to the heart. your abundance, your body, how well you take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, dark energy's got you, man. It's got you. It's got you. It's got you. It's got you. And I know I danced with it lots of times. You just got to know. You just got to look at it and be like, whoa, let me pull away from certain people, places, things, situations, and get my shit together. Yes, yes, yes. Any other questions? Anything you want to share? I'm actually an empath ever since. Oh, I haven't read that one. Also into crystal healing, natural medicine. I love that. I love that. It's real. It's real. Yeah. On IG, are y'all good? Are we good? Do you remember the name of the documentary you told me to watch about religion? Zeitgeist? Zeitgeist? Maybe Zeitgeist. It was cool. My phone is being weird. Sorry. It's that energy. It doesn't want you to watch it. It doesn't want you to watch it. Yeah. Yeah, no. I've always been told I was a bad influence. And so I definitely influence people. What I'm not, is I'm not going to wipe your ass, do the healing for you and all this stuff. But if you want to go to higher ground, I'll be your huckleberry. Because I've done it, and we're just going to keep going and 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 going. Yeah. Let's go. Zeitgeist. Any other questions about, spiritual stuff, energetics, into weight loss in the body? It's crazy too, as a woman. Once you realize that any struggle in the physical body is like something emotional, it's really cool. It's really cool. What's up, Allie? We're just finishing up of a long, long live. All about spiritual stuff. All about the rocks, baby. Allie brought me some cool rocks yesterday. Cool. If you want access to woo codes, the physicians, getting your beloved body sexy, healthy, off medication, whatever it is, get unstuck, the monies, connection, femininity, it's all here. kcship.com/apply. I will talk to you tomorrow. See you soon. Bye-bye. All right. So YouTube, it's been real. Facebook, it has